Hello there. So today is a great one because we are talking about all three films written and directed by Jordan Peele. So that includes Get Out, Us, and his newest film, Nope. So basically, I'm going to be trying this new format where instead of recording my face, I'm just going to be talking at my phone for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And yeah, because it's just easier for me and it's easier to get everything together. And once again, voiceover equals better editing. And it's going to be unscripted, but it's going to have just a more easier to watch feel. So I've been wanting to make a video about this movie, but I just couldn't write it out. So it's going to be a little bit more clunky, but it's to get this video out. So, but yeah, we're going to be talking about all three of his movies, and then something right before Nope that I want to touch on a little bit, because I got weirdly excited in the theater. But yeah, so let's talk about Jordan Peele's first film, Get Out. So I wasn't a fan of Jordan Peele. All I had seen was the first half hour Get Out like 2 years ago, and then the Kill Count for Us, which was a big mistake. Love you, James. But Get Out, I've heard wonderful things about it, and those wonderful things paid off. This film is absolutely incredible. Daniel Kaluuya, that's how I think you pronounce his name, is absolutely incredible. Chris, which I think the main protagonist's name, is one of my favorite protagonists of just all time. He is incredibly smart, and it's very interesting to watch him progress throughout the film. I knew very little, but I did know that the girl's parents were evil at some point, so I had that little disadvantage. But it didn't really taint my viewing, because I feel like even though I knew that, everything was still shocking, because I did not know the extent of that. I mentioned at the beginning the spoiler, so yeah. But Get Out is absolutely incredible. The cinematography is amazing. The dialogue feels realistic. Rod, I think his name is. I'm not sure who plays him, because this is just off the whim. Is absolutely incredible. He's comic relief, but he's not annoying. He is like perfect comic relief. He balances out the tone, where he's realistic comic relief. But this whole film feels realistic, and Jordan Peele does a great job at writing. Brilliant protagonist, great horror. This is the first film. So the thing about the horror genre is that I love it, but I do not watch these movies to get scared, But there have only been very minimal films that have genuinely terrified me. One of them, it's not horror, 2001: A Space Odyssey, then Hereditary, which Hereditary didn't scar me like 2001: A Space Odyssey, where that made me all existential about something that didn't even make sense to me. It's Hereditary, come on. I knew what happened to the extent, but I did not know the whole cult thing. And then this movie was absolutely terrifying. Like, I don't know, something about it. It was just that whole last thing where it was just everything, just like I don't know. I can't explain it. It was just it was the first film that actually stuck with me. Didn't have a nightmare though, because I'm not 5, but it was genuinely terrifying. Everyone in this film does an absolutely spectacular job. 1 second, let me pull up the cast list on my phone real quick, because I have it right in front of me, and I don't know why I'm going off the whim for the cast. So yeah, like I said, Daniel Kaluuya as, Chris, does a great job. Allison Williams, who kind of looks like my PE coach, but younger, she does a great job, because I couldn't tell if she was good or evil until the ending, because I think that's how it was meant to be, but a great execution. Catherine Keener as Missy Armitage, as her mom, does a great job, but she didn't really do anything to stand out, but she did what she needed to. That scene with the tea is one of the best scenes in horror cinema. One of the best, honestly, in general, it is a great scene, because it balances unsettling plus emotion. All of that just works so well. Bradley Whitford as Dean, I knew they were evil, but this guy, I was disappointed, because he was really funny. until he was really creepy. That's how all like the parents were. They were really cool people until they got really creepy. But like it was like I don't really know how to explain it. It was more just like they were weird, but they seemed like normal people. But even in the first scene they're in, when he's taking them around, there's just little things that hint to them being weird, you know, and being terrible. Marcus Henderson as Walter and Betty Gabriel as Georgina. Both of them, I'm putting both of them together because they both kind of play the same type of role. They are absolutely amazing. They are terrifying, and especially after the plot twist, their performance just gets enhanced for me. They all do spectacular jobs. Yeah, I don't really know how to go further on that. Like Keith Stanfield as Andre, if I am not mistaken, that is the man who gets taken at the beginning, who gets put into the sunken place later on. He is absolutely incredible. Specifically that scene with the flash where Chris tries to take a picture. If this is the same man that I'm thinking of, where Chris tries to take a picture of him and he starts screaming, "Get out!" I knew what that meant because I knew the plot. Like, once again, I got to the sunken place, so that kind of spelled it all out for me that she was not a good person. But that scene was where everything was like, ooh, where I started getting chills. Jim Hudson, I'm not sure who that is. So I'm not going to talk about... He looks familiar, but I'm not... Or Stephen Root, sorry. He plays Jim Hudson. Rod Williams by Lil Ray Howery. I already talked about him, but he does an incredible job. He was in Bird Box. I haven't seen that. Jason Black Messiah, I haven't seen that. Free Guy, I have seen that. Fun movie. But yeah, he did an absolutely great job. And then the cast, it's just going to be going on. But yeah, everyone in this film does a great job. I don't really know how much to say. Like, the pacing of this film is absolutely incredible. It just moves really quickly. But something I noticed that Jordan Peele does is that his movies, specifically in a later film that'll get to in a little bit, his films, they're not boring, they're not slow, but they take their time, and I respect that. Where, yeah, it keeps going, and it's like I was never bored. Now let's talk about the plot twist, because I said this video includes spoilers, and it will. So I did not know the extent to how evil they were. I did not know about the trading brains thing. It did not click until the surgery. Even in that scene where he's talking to, like, the uncle or whatever, the sick uncle, where he's in that room, that didn't click for me. But that last maybe 10, 20 minutes or so, as soon as I saw him get up and assault the brother, I was so, like, relieved. I don't know what the emotion was. But when I saw that he was okay, I was incredibly happy. Like, he is such... I'm blanking on the word right now, but he is such, like, I guess, very easy, engaging protagonist. This is a very engaging story. Like, he's such a great protagonist. Same thing with Shawshank Redemption. You are rooting for these protagonists, or protagoni, or whatever. You are absolutely rooting for them. It's well acted, well written. The last whole battle scene with the antlers and stuff, and then the scissors through the hand, all of that. Watching him win over these terrible people is it's like rewarding to see our main character win. That ending, when I saw those lights, I got petrified. I was about to throw a remote at my screen, I'm telling you. But then when I saw it was Lil Rod, oh, thank God. His name's not Lil Rod. His actor is named Lil Rel. His name is just Rod. My apologies. But when I saw that, I was terrified. Then when I saw the TSA, then I watched the alternate ending, and then thought that it was like it was just way too dark. It was like, come on. Luckily, Jordan Peele thought that too, and then put the ending with Rod, which it's not as realistic, but it is so much more like relieving. Like, it is so much easier to feel like it's much easier to watch. It is not as frustrating. But the build up to it, since we saw the same thing happening earlier with the police officer asking for his license registration, we knew what to maybe expect, you know? But thank God it wasn't what we thought. But yeah, the kills, that's not like my thing. Go watch the kill count. Us and Get Out have the kill counts. Sorry once again for the stuttering and the This is all off the whim, but I don't want to talk about the social commentary because this is definitely a commentary on race, I believe, and it's more. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the parents are terrible people, but Rian Johnson, I think, the top Letterboxd review on this film. Also, sorry for the clicking. I'm going through like Letterboxd and stuff while I'm talking about this. This is the top review on Letterboxd by Meme Emily. I don't know. My favorite commentary that I've read about this film was from Rian Johnson, who said, I love that if the film Get Out existed in the world of Get Out, the parents would have told Chris how much they loved Get Out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not. I don't know why I didn't comprehend that earlier. But yeah, he did an absolutely wonderful job. And yeah, I think that's absolutely hilarious because it's one of those things. But you've heard wonderful things about this film. I'm saying wonderful things, and I'm not really adding much to the conversation. But Jordan Peele, absolutely incredible filmmaker. I've watched an interview he did with the Nopecast where he gave them a horror trivia, which I remember. I'll link in the description below. I love how much of a humble guy he is. He makes jokes about him being the new master of horror, but like, he's obviously joking about it, but he is the new master of horror. He is one of the top horror directors nowadays. It's not even independent horror cinema because it is Universal Pictures who is distributing his films. The cinematography in Get Out too is absolutely great. I saw someone criticize it for saying it did look cheap looking. I understand that, but I will have to disagree because though it was his directorial debut, so it wasn't going to look like it was going to be shot with IMAX. It wasn't going to look like Christopher Nolan, but it still looks really good. Like, even though it does have some stuff where they could have used a higher quality. I don't know. That's the stuff that, for some reason, that didn't really bother me, even though that stuff usually would, because it's not a student film. It's a professional thing. But I feel like that simplicity played in to add the sort of facade, which I don't know exactly if I'm getting out what I'm thinking. But, yeah. Get Out, absolutely incredible film. If you do not know my rating system, a 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 is a golden ticket, and a 9.5 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 is a trophy. I thought it started out as a 9, then a 9.5, but after watching that film, and as it successfully scared me, I had the same mindset as Hereditary, and I'm going to be giving Get Out a 10 out of 10. This film is absolutely perfect. I could not tell you an issue if I tried. It's just every scene matters in the long run, and if it doesn't seem like that, I don't know. It's one of those films that if you don't like, I'm not going to call you racist if you don't like Get Out, but if you don't like Get Out, it's probably because you're not understanding it. I don't want to sound pretentious. I don't like that. But, it's one of those things where, and the fact that I've talked about this for as long as I have, I don't want to say the exact runtime because this is going to be a little bit edited down, but it's currently sitting at 15 minutes. But the thing I love about Jordan Peele films is that you can talk about them for days, which is something that film has not become a thing. That's not that common anymore, which this is just something I love. I love talking about movies. This is just so much fun, you know? But yeah, so there we go. This is, I don't know if I'm going to be putting this in my new series. I might change the intro, but like, I'm going to try doing a new series. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Let's move on to his second film, which is called Us. So, I had not seen Us, but as I mentioned earlier, I had seen the kill count, which was a massive mistake. Once again, love you, James. See, the thing with the kill count is that I got the plot twist spoiled, which didn't necessarily taint my perception of the film, because I could still I tried my best to see it as if I didn't know, but it kind of took away the shock. But I'm gonna have less to say about this one than the other two. But Us, it was advertised pretty much everywhere. I can, like, that trailer, when I see that trailer, I recognize it almost immediately. But it is not his best film by far. In my opinion, it's my least favorite that he has done. But it is the most horror, and I feel like though Get Out is great and Nope, I don't know how that is going to look, how people are going to see that in like 10 years. This is by far his most popular. This is by far his most iconic. This is just, everyone has seen the poster with either the mask, or the scissors. Everyone has seen it. If you hear the music, you know this is Us. Okay. That is the film Us. It is, yeah. But the reason it's my least favorite is because the thing with Get Out is that though it's incredibly smaller, that feels weird. Though it's much smaller than Us, Get Out utilizes the scenery and the area to add like a sense of unease. Us, it is like much looser than Get Out, where Get Out was tight. I don't like comparing this film to Get Out, but it's same director and his style is hit or miss. This isn't a miss. And if I say anything, I don't think any of his films are misses. All of his films are hits in my book. But it's just, there's a thing where like, it's a much lower miss, you know? Lupita Nyong'o, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that pronunciation, is absolutely incredible, but you've heard that. See, the thing is, when people say that they should be nominated for an Oscar, I don't know what qualifies for that, because I'm more focused on like the cinematography and stuff, but because there's a good chunk, if it's not Leo DiCaprio or The Rock, I'm seeing the character. Lupita Nyong'o, I think this is the first film, I think this is like the only film I've seen where she's the main character. But yeah, I think that she just does a great job in this film. The thing with like Red and Adelaide, that whole thing, once again, I'm looking at the Letterboxd cast right now, so I'm just going to be going down. It's absolutely incredible. Red, see, the thing is, this film I don't necessarily find scary. It's less subtle horror and less psychological as Get Out, but because Us is just much more straightforward. But I feel like that's a good departure from the straight psychological thing, because that's become a very popular trend, and I sometimes get tired of it. So, the plot twist, it seems like a great plot twist if I didn't know, but the ideas are still really cool. The ideas of like the whole thing under the like the whole tunnel under, I think that's a really cool idea. You know, Winston Duke as Gabe / Abraham, I was not the biggest fan of his, because I feel like he was just too happy-go-lucky for the stuff going on. Shahadi Wright Joseph, once again, I'm sorry if I am completely like abolishing that name. Zora / Umbre, I'm sorry. She does a great job. She's not like, I feel like it's just the writing in this. Once again, I said this in my Stranger Things video. None of the performances in films are bad, But there are some times where the writing doesn't really work well, and I feel like this is the only film that does that, because I'm not saying this for any, the main cast is all written pretty well except for the dad. I feel like Gabe, I feel like his character is not as strong as the other ones, but like Evan Alex as Jason / Pluto, what is yeah. That kid is probably my favorite because he just does a great job, like very impressive child acting. I'll say that. It's one of the best child performances I've seen. Then that's the only notable cast, because everyone else is just like, they're pretty straightforward. They're either just kill to kill, meet to kill, introduced to kill characters, or just like the killers. Like, that's pretty much all the characters, you know. This film, it is longer than Get Out. It feels like that. It definitely drags in the last act. That whole last monologue part, and then when she's in the car, it's like, it just feels like at the end of the film they're just repeating the same stuff, you know. Like, once again, this is not much less smooth than when I was talking about Get Out. This definitely, I feel like this is a more film on class than race. That's the social. Once again, he is really good at incorporating social commentary into his films, where to make it feel more realistic, but also make the film more important, and making it less of like I don't know. I don't want to say it's not a teaching thing, but it's treating it as like, this is messed up. This is very important. Everyone has to see what's going on, because it feels more important. And Jordan Peele is really good at making it a part of the story, but not feeling forced, you know. This film, the ideas are pretty cool. The execution is pretty cool, except for that there's this one effect during that one monologue scene that I think is just like really, it's not my favorite. It looks a little fuzzy. What I noticed that some other films do that, and I don't know why it looks really weird. Like, I think that same effect was used in Reservoir Dogs. But I don't know. I don't know. Specifically his films, I adore them a lot. But this is the only film of his that I feel like isn't as... See, his films, I don't really have this thing where it's like, these films are my thing. Like, the only director I'd say that with is Sam Raimi, is because just how wacky his films are and out there. If I'm looking for a good time, I'm going to watch Sam Raimi. If I'm looking to get existential, I'm going to go watch Kubrick. If I'm going to get, like, terrified, I'm going to go watch Jordan Peele. And Us, it didn't scare me whatsoever. It did get me creeped out, though, but that last fight, I think, is pretty cool. The whole tunnels area, I really like when stuff takes place at theme parks and stuff, so the stuff at the Santa Cruz I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this film, so I'm probably gonna have to give... my original rating was an 8 out of 10, but I don't really have that many things to say about it, and there's not really much that I think is like to praise, like to write home about. So I'm gonna be giving Us a 7.5 out of 10, which is lower than I wish, but once again, I feel like if I knew the plot twist, if the ideas I think are really cool, but the film kind of slowed down for me. Not because it was revealing information I already knew. That didn't have anything to do with it. It was just like the stuff, I don't know. Anyway, before we get on to his last film, I want to talk about something that played right before it. Because my friend thought that the movie was starting until the Universal logo played the ending only. But I forgot that the Oppenheimer trailer, it was in the back of my mind. I didn't talk about it. The Oppenheimer trailer, the teaser, was playing right before Nope. And when I saw the weird, like, oranges, sepia tone clouds, I was ecstatic, and I got the weirdest look from him. I was incredibly, I am incredibly excited for Oppenheimer. This trailer looked absolutely amazing. The thing at the bottom, the timer, looks great. The cast, oh my god, it looks just so, like, just, I don't know how to explain it. It just looks great. Like, my original review was Oppenheimer. Yeah, but I am just so incredibly excited. I just want to get that out of the way because I feel like, oh god, I hate that term because I used that a lot. It is that teaser. I'm incredibly excited for that movie, and I just feel like it looks really good. I feel like Universal just released it professionally and, officially today on YouTube. So I'm going to be playing it over the screen right now. It's probably been playing for a little bit, but I'm also going to link in the description so you can watch with sound. Cillian Murphy, all these people, looks great. Anyways, let's get to his last film, Nope. This is the reason why I did not write this video, because I had so much trouble getting out my thoughts on Nope. I don't know, something about it. So, Nope is a very interesting, not specimen, but it's a very interesting film to me because it is absolutely, it's not horror, okay? It is more science fiction, horror-esque fantasy. But there is enough to it to where I'd feel comfortable calling it horror. And I think that's because of who directed it. You know, it's like Titanic doesn't feel like a sci-fi film. It's not a sci-fi film whatsoever. But there is little specks of it, especially in the present day parts. It's not. But there are parts of it. You know, same thing with Nope. It is definitely a sci-fi film, but it is a very scary sci-fi film. Okay, so this is getting less and less structured as I go on. But Get Out, well, basically, my friend said this to me. How did we go from racist crazy girlfriend in familial cult to doppelgangers to a monster in the sky? Yeah. So going into this, I unfortunately got the littlest bit spoiled. I knew it was about UFOs because of the trailers. I did not watch the official trailer, though. But I did hear some things where some people talking about it, so whatever. Also, just even the poster, which I've had, you can't see it. Even the poster that I've had up in my room for like half a year has a horse going up. Like, come on, that's obviously an alien. But I was not expecting it to be this giant monster. It was, yeah. So, this film, I feel like this man is going to be in every other, for Jordan Peele, every other film. Daniel Kaluuya, great leading man. He was in Get Out. He plays a character named OJ. Keke Palmer, absolutely incredible job. I was expecting to be annoyed by her because the trailers made her look like over comic relief, but she's not comic relief. She is life. Like, okay, that sounded like super Pinteresty, but like, she brings the energy up. She brings the positive energy into the film, but not like overbearing. She at the beginning, I just thought she was going to be like the super I thought she was gonna kind of be like Erica from Stranger Things, like just very narcissistic, just there to be funny. But she does a great job, and it's very realistic. I forgot to mention just how realistic Jordan Peele's characters are. Like in Get Out, the guy wants to leave. His girlfriend's about to leave, but he stays. Because he wants to leave. He tries to leave, but he stays for the slightest reason because his girlfriend wants to stay. But then when they try to leave, his girlfriend goes insane. So, yeah. But, very smart protagonist. Also, the thing with, the cotton in the ears. Then the thing with Us, I don't really know. That the mom is... It's more... That one doesn't need a smart protagonist, you know? But Daniel Kaluuya as OJ in Nope, and Keke Palmer in Emerald, specifically M, or Keke Palmer's character, is an incredibly intelligent character who wants to get out, who gets out. Steven Yeun as, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Steven Yeun as Ricky Jupe Park, Jupiter's Claim. Let's talk about his backstory real quick. I knew that there was something about a monkey. I thought that the aliens were monkeys. I don't know why, but I thought that the whole viewer race that he talks about were monkeys. No, not even close. But that whole thing with Gordy is very unsettling. The only thing is the CGI monkey kind of looking video game-ish, you know. But I looked past that, and luckily I did. It was that his whole backstory is incredibly unsettling, and I love it. It is so well done. Brandon Perea, I think that's how you pronounce his name, as Angel. Once again, same thing with Keke Palmer's character. I was expecting him to be a super annoying, like I guess, chatty guy. Like, not chatty, but like Chad-y. Like, just super, like, just jockish. But then he became super important, and I really think his role did not feel forced at all. Really, really good. Really good job. Michael Wincott, I didn't care for his character, really. Keith David, he played the okay. So he plays a grandpa who, it's kind of the same thing as Will, where he's important to the characters, he's important to the plot, but he's not really in it that much. But yeah, all this film, it's not scary, but there is parts of it to it. But there is one scene that I almost died. Like, it was genuinely terrifying. And that was the scene with all the people and the alien. It's claustrophobia. Like, that's the one scene that really got me. I don't think that I could ever, like, I think that gave me claustrophobia. Because, like, I don't think I can play hide and seek and hide in a closet again. But in all seriousness, that scene was incredibly well done. And the opening credits, I feel no one's talking about them. They are really cool. And I pointed to my friend, I was like, oh, it's a camera. I thought, or it's a projector. No, not even close. But yeah, Nope. The score is beautiful. The director of photography, let me look up his name real quick, because I heard that he is the same guy who does Christopher Nolan's films. But I don't, who is this guy? Cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. He, oh my god, he did Interstellar, Her, Dunkirk. He's Christopher Nolan's guy. And this film is absolutely beautiful. It is really well shot. We didn't see it on an IMAX screen, but the screen we did see it in was really big and worth it. Also, I did recreate the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood meme where he's like where he's pointing at the screen when he sees his face. That whole meme, whenever they said nope, my friend sent me this picture afterward, forgetting that I did that. So yeah, but there's something about this film. It did take its time. Like I said for Get Out, it wasn't boring, wasn't slow, but it did take its time to where I was waiting for something to happen, but I was completely interested in what was going on screen. Like, I didn't really check my phone. Now, let's talk about that ending, because there are people who don't like that ending, including my dad. But he hasn't seen any Jordan Peele film, and he missed the opening and stuff. But that ending, very abrupt. That's how Jordan Peele's films are. They end at the point. Now, this film was incredibly confusing as to why the Gordy stuff was in there, but it's for a reason. I'm still trying to figure out that reason. It's like I heard that the thing about Jordan Peele films is that your interpretation of the symbolism and stuff. I couldn't find anything with that. But if you did, wonderful. That's the only thing. But it was a really terrifying scene, and I feel like it was in there for a reason. I'm just trying to find that reason. But this is definitely better than Us. The runtime does start to weigh in as the film goes on. But yeah, it was definitely worth all the trouble that we went through to try to see it, because it was, I don't want to get into that. Also, our theater was really loud. I don't know if that was only our theater, but our theater was incredibly loud. And that really played in, because the whole thing with the sound being too loud, it was a little too loud, but that really worked. Then, what was it? The scene with the blood all over the house, like the blood rain, I didn't really, the only time that it didn't really start to unsettle me until I saw it on the porch. But then it started unsettling me a lot, because I was like, damn, that's a lot of blood. But, yeah, let's talk about the alien creature thing, because it's not a UFO. It's a weird alien thing. I really thought that was a cool idea. But there's one issue I had with it, and that's that what is it with CGI now? It kind of reminded me of the Dark Crystal show with that giant flying thing. I forgot what it's called. I haven't watched it since it came out. But it was just like something about the CGI. It looks great, but it looks like that flying thing, it kind of looks like, I'm blanking on it. I just had it. It kind of is along the lines of like a video game, I guess. It kind of looked like Legend of Zelda. Like that monkey kind of looked like just super high graphics GTA. That flying monster thing. It kind of looks like The Wrinkle in Time. Like the new one. And that CGI was, and that was Disney. So I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I don't really know what was going on with that, but I thought it was just, I was invested in it to where it didn't really bother me. But after just looking at it again, So the score, something I forgot to mention. Get Out score, really good. But once, it's nothing that I really remember. Us's score, boom, 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 boom. It's weirdly iconic now. But Nope's score is kind of like that at one point, but then it goes to super classic sci-fi. There's also title cards in this film, which I thought was cool. Which I think, I didn't realize it, but I think each one is named after a horse, right? I don't know. But it's a horse name or whatever. I don't know. But Nope, I feel it was worth the hype. It was, yeah. But I don't really have much to say, because I think I'm going to have to see it again to fully understand it. But I now have a monkey plush that I was going to bring as a joke, but I didn't end up doing it. But now I have it on my bed, and now I don't want it on my bed. And also, my nickname is Monkey, and I don't, from, my family, and I don't. Yeah. Also, I got this really cool icy cup that I'm going to keep. I don't care if it makes me look like a hoarder, but it's cool, all right? I like keeping cups like that because I got it in an icy, and it was that. But yeah, so I'm going to be giving an 8.5 out of 10. It is a really, really good film. One of the best of the year. But I still have some things with it. It's not perfect. It does have some pacing issues, but it is a really good film. The brother-sister relationship between OJ, Daniel Kaluuya, and Keke Palmer's character, M, very, very realistic. I bought into it almost immediately. But yeah, that's what I got from it. I got less than most people, but I got more than Logan Paul, which I really like saying that, because getting more than the Paul brothers, good to go. But yeah, I think I currently have it as my third film. I think it is an absolutely great film. Now let's rank his films real quick, starting from bottom to top. I have number 3 is Us, number 2 is Nope, and number 1 is Get Out. Get Out is perfect in almost every way, shape, or form. Nope, no, it's not perfect, but it is a great film, and I absolutely adore it because it was one of my most anticipated, and I hadn't watched either of its two, like, not predecessors, because they're not, like, the two other Jordan Peele films before. I hadn't watched Get Out or Us in full until, like, 2 weeks ago. I watched Get Out on, like, last 2 Sundays ago, I think, and then Us last week, and then I went out of town, so I didn't watch many movies. Nope, I saw it in the theater, but it's the only Jordan Peele film I did see in the theater, and it was worth it. It's definitely a theater movie. I heard people calling this a summer blockbuster. I haven't really seen anything, like, about the box office for it, but Nope, it's not doing wonderful. It's not like doing Top Gun Maverick, because Top Gun Maverick is number, like, 17 or 18 in the, what is it? In the highest, it's this 17th or 18th highest grossing film of all time. I'm not exactly sure. Put it on screen, but it's probably going to change as time goes on. But it is, like, I'm glad that this film is being considered a summer blockbuster, because it is an absolutely wonderful film, but there's claustrophobic parts. But if you're watching this, I'm presuming you've seen it. Because I just spoiled the whole thing. But there's not really a plot twist. Whereas Get Out and Us, there's a plot twist. But Nope doesn't have one, which is fine. But, you know. But also, like I said, it ends right at the point. So, it's not like you don't get to see what happens. But it ends on the picture. So that means they got the picture. So, yeah. There was a nice ending. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I was going into ranking them again. Let's go into actually ranking them. So number 3 is Us, a really great film, but not as great as I would like it to be. It's a great film in concept, but in execution, it is just a good film, you know? Number 2 is Nope. I guess it's ambitious. It's one of the best films of the year. Top 3. I haven't seen that many of this year. But, yeah. And then number 1 is Get Out. Pristine, perfectly paced, tight, brilliant. Jordan Peele at his best. His directorial debut. Now, I talked about Jordan Peele. Sorry, I've also been getting over, like, a sickness. But yeah. So before we leave, I want to talk about something that's not Jordan Peele real quick. And that is The Gray Man. So The Gray Man I watched it just a little bit ago. And it was not necessarily anticipated, but I wanted to watch it, and it was on Netflix, so, like, why not? Russo Brothers, I really like Infinity War. I haven't seen Endgame since it came out, but it is really, I really liked it. But The Gray Man, so I wasn't expecting much out of it. I was expecting action, and that's what it is. It is pure action. It has some cool fight scenes, but it is very dumb. I don't care, though. It's action. I wasn't expecting much out of it, so I don't really have much to say. But The Silver Bird, the score, has Ryan Gosling, who is he's another literally me character. Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, who isn't in it as much as I thought. Julia Butters, who was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She does a great job. But I don't have much to say about this film. The cinematography was cool, action was cool, music was cool at points, and then performances, fine, writing, cool, I guess. No, I take that back. That dialogue in the opening, that first exchange between Ryan Gosling and Ana de Armas is awful. It is nothing to rave home about, but yeah. I don't have much to say about The Gray Man. I just wanted to get my thoughts out of the way because it is still a movie that I watched recently. So, yeah. I forgot to do something. Let's add up the scores and do an average rating for Jordan Peele's films. But while I do that, I want to talk about the two other director trilogies right now. So we have Robert Eggers with The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman, which I didn't review The Northman this year, which I wish I had. Jordan Peele, as a whole, his average rating is an 8.66667, so I'm just going to round that up to an 8.7, which is to be logical, if you want it exactly, an 8.7 out of 10, but that's too specific, so I'm going to round it up, and Jordan Peele's filmography is an average of a 9 out of 10. Great films. Anyways, let's talk about those director trilogies real quick, because Robert Eggers, I really like Robert Eggers. I thought The Witch was great. I wasn't the biggest fan of The Lighthouse when I watched it, but I haven't rewatched it since, but over time, as it's sunken in, it's a great film. Willem Dafoe, Robert Pattinson. I got to rewatch it again. The Northman, not my thing whatsoever. I found it really slow, but really well shot. I don't think it was a terrible movie. It was just underwhelming, in my opinion. But yeah. So, yeah. I'm sorry, very clunky right now. And then the other director trilogy, which I haven't... It's not a trilogy yet, but it is... what is it? Whoa, sorry. It is Hereditary, Midsommar, and it's not out yet, but like the 4-hour-long Disappointment Boulevard. I don't know. So, yeah. But also, there's, yeah. I really like Hereditary. I already talked about Hereditary, Midsommar, but, so I really like The Witch. Lighthouse, once again, I already said that. Northman, just not my thing, you know? But, yeah, so... While we still have time, I'm just realizing I have all the time in the world. If you wanted to leave, you already could have. But, so, I have seen 22 films of this year, and I will give you my top 5, and top 10, because some people will disagree, but I do not care. Because The Northman's not it. I put Lightyear above The Northman. Sue me, I liked Lightyear for what it was, alright? Let's do a little mini review of Lightyear real quick. So, this was one of my most anticipated films ever. I was so excited for Lightyear, alright? I was not disappointed. I had such a great time with it. It felt like a Pixar movie. Turning Red does not feel like a Pixar movie. You cannot tell me that in full confidence that it feels like Pixar. I had a great time with it. And it is one of the better animated films of the year. It is my favorite because I've only watched one other one, but Chippendale, does that count? It's hybrid. But that I like that more than Lightyear. But Lightyear, it was just a lot of fun, and I felt nostalgic, so bumped it up. 7.5 out of 10. Originally an 8.5, but then as it sunk in, I realized it wasn't pristine. So, I know I already said it, but I have all the time in the world, and I want to just get this all done, because I want to kind of do this thing monthly, where I talk about the recent releases and stuff, and I want to talk about some films I haven't gotten a chance to talk about yet. So, Minions: The Rise of Gru, I'm not going to dwell on this, but let me just say, I had never, ever wanted, I never was tempted to walk out of a theater until this movie. I wanted to actually die. It was genuinely a terrible experience. 3 out of 10. It was, I also watched all the Scream movies over the course of the summer. Great. I was going to do a video on this, but there's a lot of stuff I want to do videos on, but I just can't. So I'm just going to talk about a couple franchises that I'm familiar with. So we got... Sorry, I'm blinking. So I watched it in May, but I still remember my thoughts on it. We got the Pirates of the Caribbean. So we got, like, the first one, 8.5. Second one, 9. Third one, 8.5. Then the fourth one, 3. I hated this movie. It was absolutely terrible. No redeeming qualities, except that it had Vernon Dursley and Johnny Depp. And even Johnny Depp wasn't there. And then the fifth one was a solid 5. It's a 4. It's a 4. It's a 4. It is not. It's much better than the third one, but the third one was still a Pirates movie, so it's still higher. But the thing is, with Dead Man Tell No Tales, it is a better movie, but there's just not much to it. Scream. So, Scream is... I forgot how good it was. I've only seen it twice, but I've seen 2 Scream movies twice, both being called Scream. But yeah, the first Scream is absolutely incredible. 9.5 out of 10. Almost perfect movie. Second Scream, I don't understand why people hate on it so much. It's a fun movie. It has Randy in it. That's probably why I love it. But I think it is a completely worthy follow-up that it does a great job. The 2 hours, not that bad. It's fun. So that one I'm going to give a solid 7.5. Not as good as the first Scream, but there have been much worse. And we're going to get there. Scream 3... Scream 3 is genuinely a terrible movie. But it is still fun. It's still Scream. So I'm going to be giving Scream 3 a 6. Because Scream 3, I'm probably going to come back and laugh at this. But Scream 3 is just so much fun, honestly. And I just realized that I was originally talking about Jordan Peele. Anyways, Scream 4 is terrible. 5 out of 10. I don't like it whatsoever. And Scream 5... which I had seen twice, one in the theater, one at home. Solid 7. It is one of the higher requels. Better than the Halloween one, but because it's more self-aware, but it still feels like a Scream movie, and I like the Scream movies, so why not? But yeah, that's my opinion on the Scream movies, and we're currently hitting over 50 minutes at this point, and I don't really have much else to talk about, so let me just, I forgot. One last thing before we wrap up. I'm so sorry for keep doing this. I want to talk about the MCU Phase 5, and then I'm going to talk about Harry Potter, because I think I'm going to be... Actually, no, I'm not releasing this on July 31st anymore. I'm releasing this as soon as possible. So, yeah, let's... So, the MCU Phase 5 and 6 released. And, in my opinion, it's not too much. They just gotta spread this out. Alright? You can't go from Doctor Strange to Miss Marvel to Thor. You gotta have some time in between for some anticipation. That was the issue with The Amazing Spider-Man. They're fun movies. They're fine. They're fun and enjoyable. But no one was really asking for them, you know? They came too soon. And I feel like all of this... is just it needs to slow, it needs to take a deep breath and take a step back. All of it. But I'm still excited for it all except for the Agatha. They are wasting their money with that show. I think Catherine Hahn seems like a very nice woman, but I have no interest in her show whatsoever. I did not like her as a character. But yeah, everything else I'm indifferent to. Yeah. And now, last thing, Harry Potter, never mind. It doesn't matter. So, Elvis. I forgot to talk about Elvis. Elvis, great movie. 2020 year has been a great year for film in general. We had the return of Sam Raimi. We had the return of the summer blockbuster. The return of Baz Luhrmann. And then we also had horror movies, horror in quotes, heavy quotes, being mainstream blockbuster, which is a great thing. And then we also got Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is come on. We have a new take on the Batman, which is my personal favorite. It's been a great year. We've had some duds. We have quite a bit of duds, actually. But we had some really just great movies. Elvis, Austin Butler is insane. He does an amazing job. Tom Hanks is meh. The music, I wasn't a big fan of Elvis, but now I'm kind of once again indifferent to his music. I really like Unchained Melody and I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. The almost 3 hours fly by. It feels like it kind of just felt like it kept going, but it wasn't anything where it's like, whatever. So yeah. But the only thing, my issue with it is the cinematography was kind of nauseating, but that's Baz Luhrmann. But that's the Doja Cat, why? It's a movie about Elvis, why are we having rap in there? There's probably a reason for it, it's just not my thing. It doesn't make any sense to me, so I'm going to be giving Elvis an 8 out of 10. Elvis is a great movie. Go watch it in the theater because everything feels electric about it. And I did not realize how electric of a person Elvis was until I watched it. But I think this is where I'm going to end it here. We are reaching almost an hour, if not over an hour. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening or watching or whatever. And I think I'm just going to let this one go. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See you all next time. Stay golden, everyone. Doodles.